up, you guys? So, in case you missed it, Eddie Murphy returned to the Saturday Night Live stage for the first time in 30 years, and he used that opportunity to do a Black Men United movement and unite black male comics, but at the same time, he also threw some shade at one of the biggest black male comedians ever, Bill Cosby. Check it out.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It's great to be back here finally hosting Saturday Night Live for Christmas. And this is the last episode of 2019, but if you're black, this is the first episode since I left back in 1984. It's been a really long time. Here's actually a picture of me back when I first started. Yeah, I look at least 5 years younger there. Well, you know what they always say, money don't crack. So much has changed. I actually just had a new baby just about a year ago. I had a new baby. That means I have 10 kids now. 11 if you count Kevin Hart. No, I'm kidding, I love Kevin Hart. I'm just teasing. My kids are actually pretty much my whole life now. And you know what? But if you would have told me 30 years ago that I would be this boring, stay-at-home, house dad, and Bill Cosby would be in jail. Even I would have took that bet. I'll tell you, who is America's dad now?
Now, their beef literally goes back 30 years, and I'm going to get into the backstory, but first I want to fill you in on Bill Cosby's representative's response to the shade. Bill Cosby's publicist, Andrew Wyatt, responds to Eddie Murphy's SNL monologue. He says, Mr. Cosby became the first black to win an Emmy for his role in I Spy, and Mr. Cosby broke color barriers in the entertainment industry, so that blacks like Eddie Murphy, Dave Chappelle, Kevin Hart, etc. could have an opportunity to showcase their talents for many generations to come. It is sad that Mr. Murphy would take this glorious moment of returning to SNL and make disparaging remarks against Mr. Cosby. One would think that Mr. Murphy was given his freedom to leave the plantation so that he could make his own decisions, but he decided to sell himself back to being a Hollywood slave. Step and fetch it plus cooning equals the destruction of black men in Hollywood. Remember, Mr. Murphy, that Bill Cosby became legendary because he used comedy to humanize all races, religions, and genders. But your attacking Mr. Cosby helps you embark on becoming clickbait. Hopefully you will be amenable to having a meeting of the minds conversation in order to discuss how we can use our collective platforms to enhance black people rather than bringing all of us down together. Hashtag not funny SNL, hashtag far from finished, hashtag free Bill Cosby. Now, Bill Cosby, once known as quote-unquote America's dad, was sentenced last September 2018 to 3 to 10 years in a state prison for drugging and sexually assaulting Andrea Constad at his home 14 years ago. Bill Cosby's beef with Eddie Murphy goes back more than 30 years ago when Bill Cosby called Eddie Murphy to complain about his 1987 Eddie Murphy Raw comedy special. Prior to receiving that phone call, Bill Cosby was Eddie Murphy's hero, according to his castmates on SNL. Joe Piscopo, one of Eddie Murphy's castmates on SNL, recalled, quote, I was in my office, Eddie walked in so devastated. He said Eddie Murphy walked in his office and told him, Bill Cosby just called me, man. He railed me for being too dirty. He railed me. He yelled at me for like 20 minutes. And it didn't stop at just that one phone call. Bill Cosby allegedly tried to stop Eddie Murphy's bag for years and repeatedly contacted him to complain about his comedy routine. Eddie Murphy opened up to Jerry Seinfeld about it on the Netflix show Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee. And he said, quote, he had a weird thing with me that he didn't have with other comics. It was mean. For instance, he says Bill Cosby would tell him not to talk about how much money he had on stage. Quote, "You should come and see how it's supposed to be done," Bill Cosby would tell him. "You shouldn't get on that stage unless you have something to say." Eddie Murphy said he wasn't doing that with everybody. He was doing that with me specifically. He was dirty with me. So Bill Cosby was specifically picking on Eddie Murphy whenever Eddie Murphy would do his comedy specials, and he would try to stop his bag and make it harder for him to work in Hollywood, even though he was opening up doors for other people of color to work in Hollywood. Leave a comment and let me know what you think about Eddie Murphy shading Bill Cosby on SNL, and let me know what you think about Bill Cosby's representative responding to the shade on Instagram. In my personal opinion, I feel like this statement that's from the representative is really from Bill Cosby. I believe it's really from Bill Cosby, but he just can't put his name on it and say it's from him because he can't read somebody from behind bars. You can't read somebody when your life is a read. So I still think this is Bill Cosby doing what he's always done according to Eddie Murphy, and that's telling Eddie Murphy what he should and shouldn't say on stage. That's my opinion. Leave a comment and let me know your opinion. As always, thanks for watching.